On the day of my 5th anniversary date with Julian, he reserved the most exclusive club in Manhattan and invited every mutual friend we had. With tears in his eyes, he knelt in front of me, professing his love and offering a dazzling ring. Amid the cheers, it slid onto my finger. Just then, a fresh-faced college girl pushed open the door. "Sorry, wrong room," she cooed, all innocence. I saw the color drain from Julian's face. He stammered a lame excuse and bolted. I smiled faintly and let him go. The instant he was gone, I pulled off the ring and made a call. "Mother, I accept the arranged marriage with the Astors. I'll be home in 5 days to claim the estate." When I first met Julian Vance, he was a penniless kid from a rusty Ohio town. To protect his pride, I buried my identity as Scarlett Vance, heiress to the Vance fortune, and helped him build his tech dream from a cramped Brooklyn apartment. For years, his devotion was absolute. He remembered every detail, fought every battle. The day Hailtech went public on the NASDAQ, he told every reporter, "My love is the only light in my life. Without her, there would be no Julian Vance today." Our love story was tabloid gold for months. He gave me the majority equity, kept me at his side at every gala. If any man drifted too close, his jealous streak flared. Our friends called it obsessive, enviable love. They said I'd won at life. What they didn't know was that my phone had been a silent vault, filling for months with evidence from a girl named Chloe Whitaker. Photos, videos, texts, each more graphic than the last. The night before the proposal, her final text dripped with venom. "So what if you've loved him 5 years? You're dull. He pities you. Watch me steal him with one look." After Julian fled, I stared at the word, "Marry me," spelled out in roses on the 6-foot cake. I understood the temptations of his new world better than he did. I just bet on him being different. I lost the bet, so I lost. Big deal. A dog that's eaten garbage is a dog I don't want. Half an hour later, Julian reappeared, a thin sheen of sweat on his brow, reeking of cheap perfume. "Scar, I'm so sorry. A Hailtech crisis. I didn't mean to leave you." He reached to caress my cheek. I slid aside, revolted. Those fingers had just been all over her. Our friend sighed theatrically. "Oh, Scarlett waits 30 minutes and you're heartbroken." Julian barked a laugh, pulling me close. "Envy all you want. I belong to Scarlett alone, in this life and the next." I tugged a mocking smile, tilting my head. I spotted the faint love bite above his collar, poorly concealed. A trophy left for me. 30 minutes was really enough. I murmured, "Why don't you go back for round 2? His face flickered. "Scar, are you mad? If you haven't done anything wrong, why would I be mad? I could never betray you," he said, while the crowd cooed. He lifted my hand to kiss it, then froze. My ring finger was bare. Panic leapt into his eyes. "Avery, the ring. Where's the ring?" I blinked. "Didn't you take it back?" My calm delivery, plus his own guilt, convinced him. He patted every pocket, frantic. "Maybe you dropped it during that errand." I offered gently. "I'll retrace my steps. Wait for me." "Okay." I gave a small shrug. "Let it stay lost. I can afford another." Julian's eyes reddened. He'd spent 3 sleepless nights forging that band. Etching inside, "Scarlett is the heart of Julian," meaning, without me, he couldn't survive. "Avery, it's my fault," he said, his 6-foot frame folding as he crushed me to him. "I'll recraft an identical ring. Please don't be angry. I'm scared when you're mad." I rested my chin on his shoulder, smothering the ache. "Julian, there's no need." The music drowned me out. Sensing my mood, Julian cut the celebration short. Outside, a New York wind whipped down the street. He stripped off his jacket and wrapped me tight. After he went to get the car, my iPhone buzzed, another text from Chloe, a snapshot of the club restroom. Her fingers tangled in Julian's hair. Caption, "This time it's your proposal party. Where next?" I waited for the familiar stab, but numbness had set in. Julian pulled up in his Aston Martin. A playful girl, Chloe, skipped over. "Sir, a ride back to NYU. It's sketchy out here." Julian instantly shielded me. "No room." Chloe ignored him, turning teary eyes on me. "Big sis, please, just to campus." My gaze skimmed her neck, the fresh bruises, the challenge glittering there, where I'm all sharp edges. She's soft water, one trembling lash and hearts melt. Apparently, Julian wasn't immune to the cliché. "Ask the driver," I said, sliding into the back seat and shutting my eyes. Julian leaned in, sheepish. "Baby, it's late. Rides are scarce. Maybe we drop her. Campus is on our way." I opened my eyes, half smiling. "Since when did you grow a conscience?" There was a time he kept 3 feet between himself and any woman. He coaxed, treating my mood as life or death. "If you're unhappy, I'll send her away right now." I shut my eyes, hollow of feeling. A pretty girl like that taking a cab alone is dangerous. Seeing me relent, Julian exhaled in relief. "Scar, you're still so kind. Let's see if you still call me kind when you find out I'm selling my equity equity stake. I thought. Chloe slipped into the passenger seat first, claiming it like she owned it. Get out. Only Avery sits there, Julian said, irritation flashing. Chloe clung to my window. Sis, look how stingy he is. Then, in a whisper, meant only for me. After all, we've shared the same man. What's a front seat between sisters? I regarded her coolly. Drive, Julian. En route. My phone buzzed. A WhatsApp message from Chloe, a sex selfie. Her next message read, as of today, we've used 150 condoms. Maybe I'm already carrying his baby. You should just let him go. I lifted my gaze. Chloe, up front, wiggled her phone and gave a cutesy smile. Julian noticed my pallor. Avery, are you sick? Should we head to Mount Sinai? I didn't show him the chat. Manhattan was his turf. I wanted my share. A quiet exit. No pointless brawls. I'm fine. The words had barely left my lips when a truck barreled toward us in the wrong lane. Julian wrenched the wheel. Tires burst. The world spun. And the car flipped. Steel crushed around us. Chloe screamed non-stop. Julian's voice tore through the wreckage. Avery. Avery. He kicked his door free. Crawled through smoke and sparks. My head throbbed. Blood clouding my sight. He ignored Chloe's shrill sobs. Shouting my name like a madman. Charging toward me. Shard sliced his palms to the bone as he clawed the crumpled door open and hauled me out, seeing the blood on my forehead. He hugged me, eyes scarlet, trembling. Avery, open your eyes. Don't scare me. I failed to protect you. In the haze, I remembered 5 years earlier, hiking together. He carried me down a muddy trail, sunlight painting his profile, murmuring, I'm here. We're okay. Back then, his world revolved only around me. Through dripping blood, I stared at him, dazed. How could the man who loved me so fiercely fail to control his own body? Bystanders dragged Chloe free. Her dress tore, revealing fresh love bites. Julian lifted me into the ambulance and climbed in beside me. He glanced at Chloe standing pale and bawling, then looked away. When I woke, I was in a hospital bed. Julian dozed beside my hand, still in his crash-torn clothes. I pulled my hand free. He jolted awake, hugged me, eyes reddening. You scared me to death. Thank God you're okay. He clung to me like a man missing half his soul. Even the nurse sighed enviously. Mr. Vance refused treatment, waited outside the until he saw you safe. A whole day and night. Stubble shadowed his jaw. I regarded him without expression. How is Chloe? His face stiffened for a beat. She's nobody. Forget her. What matters is you getting better. His pocket buzzed, glancing at the collar. He stroked my cheek with feigned tenderness. You must be starving. I'll fetch you congee. I shadowed him downstairs to another private ward. Inside, Chloe sobbed. If you don't care, why keep sleeping with me? In the crash you only thought of her. You left me to die. He seized her wrists. Impatient. I've told you, Avery is the one I love. The one I'll marry. If you want out, leave. There's always another girl waiting. Chloe wept harder. Julian sighed. Then, softening, pulled her close. Aside from the title Mrs. Vance and my heart, name what you want and it's yours. His thumb wiped her tears. Keep crying and you'll ruin that pretty face. Chloe hugged his waist. Then make it up to me. He indulged her. All right, kiss me. Smiling, he bent and kissed her lips. She slid her hand under his shirt. Soon, indecent sounds leaked through the door. I drew a steady breath, lifted my phone, filmed them through the crack, then walked away without a tremor. Only the nails digging crescents into my palms betrayed me. Whether my heart hurt no longer mattered. Soon, everything would end. I was discharged the same day. Chloe's text arrived right on cue. This time it was in the hospital ward. He wore me out. The attached photo didn't sting. The video on my phone was sharper. Julian rang. Apologetic. Scar. Hailtech is swamped. The driver will take you home. I'll make it up tonight. Okay. I gave a flat, sure, and hung up. Lately, Julian was always busy. Always sorry. Only he didn't know that the instant he hung up, Chloe would fire off another taunt. His business trips were nothing but extended trysts. My apathy bought me the time I needed. Second to last day, I gathered every Polaroid, every trinket that whispered couple, and packed them into a monogrammed trunk, dragging it behind me. I returned to the Brooklyn walk-up where we first lived together. The one bedroom was dim, dank, the bathroom so narrow only one person could squeeze in. After Hailtech took off, Julian bought the place, calling it our shrine. He vowed we'd bring our child here to taste how bitter the climb had been. I cracked the windows, then set fire to every photograph inside the trunk. Picture 1, him in a threadbare coat, jogging through falling snow to hand me a steaming baked potato. Picture 2, him diving for a plush toy at Coney Island, skinning his knee, yet stretching his arms toward me with a goofy grin. Picture 3, the day we signed our first term sheet, Both of us wept over a $3 million deal. Picture 4, sunset on the Santa Monica Pier. His arms around me as he swore forever. The Polaroids burned from daylight into darkness before the last corner curled to ash. With those ashes, our 5-year story was finished. Anything the flames couldn't swallow, I smashed myself until shards littered the floor. When it was done, I walked out and back to the penthouse on 5th Avenue. Julian was waiting like an overgrown puppy, eyes fixed on the driveway. The moment I stepped from the car, he jogged over and wrapped a shawl around my shoulders. Where were you? Avery, it's freezing. I kept the shawl tight, taking out the trash. Why are you back so early? He ruffled my hair. What kind of trash needs your hands? Next time, let me. After I changed, I saw the dining table loaded with dishes. He'd lined my slippers neatly. Forget what today is, silly. He asked. Oh, our 5-year anniversary. Julian pulled out a chair and eased me into it. Baby, happy 5th. Like a magician, he produced a diamond necklace, clasping it around my throat. I had an astrologer pick the date. 1 week from today is perfect. Let's get married then. Okay. I lifted my gaze. 1 week. He tapped the tip of my nose. Lazy and fond. I know it's rushed, but my need to make you my wife is even more urgent. Don't worry about a thing. I've been preparing for years. You just stay home, try on wedding gowns, and get ready to be Mrs. Vance. Deal. I stared into those devoted eyes and almost said, no, you'll never see me in a wedding gown. I think there's still something on the stove, he said, hurrying to the kitchen. He missed the glow of his iPhone on the table. I had never snooped, but every password he owned was my birthday. The lock slid open at a touch. Inside, Julian, you're really not coming tonight. I'm in my safe window. Plus a selfie of her in a bunny outfit, pure temptation. Before he returned, I set the phone back. My own screen lit with yet another taunt from Chloe. This time it's the presidential suite at the plaza. Julian bought me an annual pass. Guess. Will he spend your little anniversary with you, or press me against that window? Baby, cheers to 5 years. Julian emerged in the apron I'd bought him, balancing the last dish. I flicked my phone shut, surveyed the feast, and couldn't keep the act going. I stood to leave. He read my face, rushed to trap me in a frantic hug from behind. Did I do something wrong? Tell me, and I'll fix it. Please. I studied the panic in his eyes. Julian, do you actually love me? Without a beat, he answered. Of course I love you, more than myself. Without you, I'd rather die. He even raised 3 fingers in a vow. I burst out laughing, so hard my stomach cramped, so hard tears came. He thought it was joy and moved to whisper more sweetness when his phone rang. I slipped free. Your call. He glanced at the screen, eyes darting, then stepped into the garden to speak. Moments later, he returned, all apology. Baby, we've got a site crisis. I have to go. I tugged a smile, wiped the tear tracks. Go on. I'm sorry our anniversary ends like this. I'll make it up tomorrow. Husband promise. I nodded, gentle. Sure. My flight was booked for tomorrow afternoon. He wouldn't get the chance. He sped off, probably toward that bunny suit, never noticing me unclasp the necklace, never sensing this was our final night. After tonight, I would vanish from Manhattan. No power of his could pull me back. Julian had lost Scarlett for good. Final day. I sold every haute couture gown to a resale boutique on Madison Avenue. The cash, along with every piece of jewelry, I donated to charity. Screenshots of Chloe's messages I printed and left fanned across the coffee table. The photos and video clips I edited into a montage, scheduled as an email to Julian and every Hailtech employee. Time to send as my plane took off. As for the equity stake, hadn't that always been mine? I'd suffered as much as he building this firm. So when I sold my shares at a bargain to his fiercest competitor, Lincoln Croft, I felt neither regret nor guilt. I nurse grudges. Whoever wounds me bleeds in return. The contract signed, the wire transferred. I wheeled my trunk into JFK. My iPhone buzzed without pause. By now, he must have discovered the sale. The loudspeaker announced boarding for Zurich. I took one last look at the swirl of travelers, tossed the SIM into a trash can, and stepped through the jet bridge. Good. Bye. Julian, never again. You're delusional. This is my company. Get out. Lincoln lolled in Julian's corner office recliner, spun once, and flicked a file onto the desk. Scarlett just sold me her 60%. I now own more than you do. Henceforth, I'm CEO of Hailtech. Vacate my office. Julian flipped to the signature page, saw my name, and staggered backward, dialing my number like a madman. Only the automated drone replied. Just then, Julian. His inbox pinged with my scheduled email. The moment he clicked play, the explicit footage flooded the screen. His pupils contracted to pinpoints. Abandoning Lincoln, he bolted through the corridors. Employees who had already opened the email watched him with sideways glances. Whispers sliced the air. He didn't care. His heart jackhammered as he ran red light after red light back to the penthouse. Standing in the hollow house, he felt a chunk of himself gouged clean out. Avery, Avery. He stumbled upstairs, flinging open every door, bedroom, bath, walk-in closet, study, only to find every trace of me erased, as though I'd been a dream, not a garment, not a lipstick, not even a single strand of hair remained. The shared photos had vanished from the album. Only his solo shots remained. The frame on the nightstand stared back empty. Julian's dark pupils quivered, cradling the vacant frame. His knees buckled and he sank to the floor, gaze unfocused. A torrent of panic crushed his nerves. This can't be real. You couldn't be this heartless. He rejected the evidence and instinctively called his assistant. Seal off the city. Comb every airport, every station. If you spot Scarlett, detain her at any cost. She's an orphan. She can't survive without me. She's still here. The call ended. Julian drifted from the room like a ghost, missed a step on the stairs, and tumbled the whole flight. He tried to stand. His legs had no strength. He slumped there, hot tears streaming as broken sobs echoed. A gust whipped through, scattering papers across the table. Several sheets fluttered to a stop in front of him. The instant he saw the printed chat logs, Julian's eyes burned crimson. Each page hammered his skull. Her final icy reply was a razor slid straight into his chest. Wish you two a blissful marriage and a house full of children. She had known the secret that terrified him, yet kept playing along. If only he'd noticed sooner. If only Chloe had stayed in line. It was all that bitch's fault. Snarling, Julian hauled himself up and stormed out. Chloe lolled on the sofa in the latest Chanel he'd bought her, surrounded by handbags and haute couture. My man's the CEO of Hailtech, worth billions. Once I'm Mrs. Vance, these trinkets won't even matter. She sneered to her brother, right before a sudden slap spun her world. Julian's blood-red eyes loomed over her. Didn't I warn you? Avery must never know. Didn't I say if anything happened to her I'd make you wish you were dead? Chloe played dumb. I don't know what you mean. He hurled the printed chats in her face. Paper edges sliced her skin. Who the hell do you think you are? Flaunting yourself in front of Avery. Seeing the messages. Chloe paled, burst into theatrical sobs. Julian, I'm sorry. I love you so much I wanted to be your only. Her slender neck was crushed under his grip. Air vanished. For the first time, she tasted death. His stare grew colder. Fury blazing. My one and only is Avery. Chloe, who gave you the guts to challenge her? She's worth more than my life. She slapped at his arm in terror. Her family shoved Julian, screaming, Hale, let go, you'll kill her. He heard nothing, muttering, if I choke her dead, maybe Avery will come back. Chloe, livid with fear, rasped with her last breath, Julian, I'm pregnant. Your baby is inside me. His gaze dropped to her belly. Pupils contracted. She tore free while he faltered, collapsing and coughing. So, you're pregnant. There was no joy, only a glacial calm. You shameless wretch. How dare you get pregnant? Had she thought a baby would edge Scarlett out? Ridiculous. Only Avery will ever carry my child, he said flatly. He yanked her upright. You're aborting it. Erase the child. Exile Chloe. And the past would reset. Avery would return. Yes. Just like that. Ignoring her shrieks, he stuffed her into the car. Julian, this is your baby, please. No. Twisting her hair, he hissed. It's a bastard. Avery's child is the only one I'll claim. Chloe hammered the window. Her brother lunged. Julian floored him with one punch. Crowds gathered. Police arrived and pulled Chloe to safety. Hale, you have no right to force an abortion. Julian stared at her, a slow Arctic smile. Fine, let her give birth. One call, and every bag, every jewel he'd ever given her was seized. Overnight, Chloe was a broke student again, without money. Her family's faces soured. At first, she thought Julian was bluffing, but his number never answered. WhatsApp blocked, he'd vanished. Only then did she realize he wasn't joking. Still, a sliver of hope clung. Once the baby arrived, surely he wouldn't abandon his own flesh. An entire month. Julian scoured the city until it felt turned inside out. No trace of me. I had erased myself, resolutely, from his universe. When his assistant finally located him, Julian was in the penthouse clutching bedsheets soaked in whiskey, hair hanging over vacant eyes, beard unkempt, nothing left of the titan he'd been. Hail. Still no sign of Ms. Vance, the aide said, kicking aside bottles. Julian's lifeless pupils showed no flicker. He hugged the fabric that still carried my faint scent. The assistant sighed. Too little. Too late. However, we did find she visited the Brooklyn loft before vanishing. He handed over the address. A spark reignited in Julian's eyes. He lurched upright, swaying, staring at the slip of paper. The assistant, worried, drove him there. Inside, he found no Scarlet, only drifts of cold ash. His throat closed around the sting of smoke. He lifted a charred remnant, half of my face in a ruined photo, the last fragment. Kneeling, he pressed the scrap to his heart. Pain convulsed inside his chest. Avery, you're merciless. Avery, where are you? Each cracked plea echoed. Unheard, the assistant set down his resignation. Hale, Ms. Vance is gone for good. Stand up. Hale Tech is on life support under Lincoln. Staff are quitting in droves. Julian whispered my name, deaf to the world. With another sigh, the aide left the letter and walked out. Julian suddenly coughed up a mouthful of blood onto the floor. As he collapsed, he saw a ring in the ashes, stained with blood. He carefully picked it out and wiped it clean with his shirt. Inside the inner band was engraved, Scarlet is the heart of Julian. Julian hunched his back, clutching the ring so hard against his chest that veins bulged and his whole body shook uncontrollably. Avery, you knew all along. You were ruthless. From the day I proposed you were already planning to leave me. Avery, I know I was wrong. Please come back. Okay, please come back. In November of the same year, Hale Tech declared bankruptcy. I was far away in Zurich when I read the news. Swirling red wine. I stared at the screen with indifferent eyes. Back then, he said the company's name was bound to us, just as we would be together forever. Now that we had parted, the company had also faded. Someone draped a shawl gently over my shoulders. Do you know him? The man asked softly. I pulled the shawl tighter, looked away from the screen. He's my ex-boyfriend. The man blinked, then studied my face. Do you still love him? I shook my head without hesitation. No. Call me cold or heartless if you like. The moment Julian hurt me, I had already soberly detached myself. Life is short. Why waste it on someone unworthy? Whoever loves me, I love back. Whoever hurts me, I kick aside. The man exhaled in relief and curved his lips. Grant Astor, the man I was arranged to marry, impeccable in every way. Our rapport was lukewarm, but if the families needed it, I'd oblige. The Vance and Astor families have a project in Riverdale, New York. We need to go take a look. Grant said, watching my expression. I parted my lips. Must I go personally? He weighed his words. The project is important. It's best if you come, but if it makes you unhappy, I can handle it alone. All right. Snow was falling the day we reached Riverdale. I wore a red velvet mermaid gown. After we inspected the site and exited the building, I saw Julian at the door. Avery. 3 months had aged him 10 years. His once dashing vigor was gone. His eyes wet. He gazed at me while security held him back. Avery, you're back. I've missed you so much. He had scoured the world for me, spent nearly every penny. The longing was driving him insane. What he didn't know was that I'd hired elite hackers to shield my privacy. I only glanced at him indifferently, as if he were a stranger, tightened my black coat, and walked away on my heels. Avery. Julian screamed and struggled. Security shoved him to the ground. Let go of me. That's my fiancé. Fiancé. The guard sneered. She's Ms. Scarlett Vance, sole heir to Vance Holdings. Her betrothed is Mr. Grant Astor. Julian froze as if struck by lightning, numb as he watched my departing back. Grant slipped off his coat and draped it gently over my shoulders. Impossible. Scarlett was an orphan like him. How could she be the Vance heiress? There had to be a mistake. Avery. His hoarse cries earned not even a backward glance. Julian was thrown out. Chloe, belly swollen, helped him up. Stirring trouble. She said, Julian, Scarlett must have latched onto a richer man. Why else disown you? Though Hale Tech was bankrupt, Julian still had some money and the penthouse. Chloe's affair had reached NYU. They expelled her. Julian was now her sole lifeline. A sharp slap rang out. Julian struck her to the ground, eyes bloodshot. Don't you dare speak of her like that. Chloe's cheek flamed, jealousy almost tangible. Say what you want. If you loved her so much, why screw me over and over? You couldn't keep it in your pants. She dumped you. Well deserved. Julian, you're stuck with me for life. Ha! Her taunts pushed him over the edge. He slapped her again and again. Chloe howled, blood at the corner of her mouth, cramps stabbing her lower abdomen. Someone finally shouted, the pregnant woman's bleeding. Bystanders pulled Julian away. Chloe had already fainted from pain. From inside the car, I quietly raised the window. So Chloe had gotten the pregnancy she wanted, only the baby was probably lost. But what did that have to do with me? Drive, I said, and Grant pulled away. In the mirror, Julian chased like a madman, falling and rising until his knees were shredded. Grant asked, if he keeps running he could get hit. Sure you don't want to get out. In the end, I stepped out. Snowflakes settled on my black shawl as I looked down at the man who once loved me to death. Avery, I've missed you. Please come back to me. Please. He clutched my legs, pleading. Blood smeared my hem. I answered with 2 cold syllables. No. Julian's face went white. Why? Because I cheated. He swore urgently. I'll never do it again. Never. Let's start over. Please. In 5 years. Julian had always been aloof. Always in control. Because I told him I was an orphan. He cheated without restraint. Certain I could never leave. Because I'd said I had no one. That he was my whole world. He believed I couldn't live without him. I curved my lips. Word by word, I told him, but why would I want a dog that's already eaten garbage? Julian, you pushed me away with your own hands. From now on, how many women you want has nothing to do with me. Likewise, whom I'll be with is none of your business. I kicked his hand away and climbed back into the car. Julian sprawled on the ground, stunned by my words. Avery, let's go back to the way we were. Avery, give me one more chance. He pounded frantically on the window. I slowly closed my eyes. Grant switched on the music. Soft notes insulated us from the heartrending shouts outside. The car sped away. Chloe lost not only the baby, but her womb as well. The Whitakers weren't about to let Julian off. They brought a dozen relatives demanding compensation. During the scuffle, Julian and Chloe's brother tumbled from a balcony. The brother was left half paralyzed. While Julian's mind seemed to fracture that day, whenever he saw a girl with my silhouette, he called her Avery, kneeling and begging forgiveness. Frightened passersby called the police. Eventually, Julian was committed to a psychiatric ward in upstate New York. The little money left went to medical bills and hospital fees. Snow fell again one day. He sat thinly clothed in the courtyard, flakes settling on his shoulders and hair. Julian gently caressed the ring and murmured, Avery, I found the ring again. This time I'll never lose it. Never lose it again. Thanks for watching today's story. If you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up and share it with your friends. We'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments. Feel free to share your opinions. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more amazing stories. See you next time.